Hey, check it out, it's Jan, 1/3 of MediaShinobi, and I'm going to be reviewing The Legend of Korra Book 4, Episode 4, entitled The Calling. To be completely honest, I don't really have much to say for this particular episode, simply because nothing much has happened. So because of that, I'm just going to go straight into the review. I kind of was thrown off by this episode. I feel conflicted as of right now, and that's just because I don't really know how to take this episode as. So do I take this as a casual episode where I'm just following Tenzin's children's side adventures? Or do I take this episode seriously, where I'm witnessing the end of Korra's journey to self-recovery? Don't get me wrong, I obviously know it's both, but these two aspects can be considered opposite ends of the spectrum, and the fact that these two shared an episode, it didn't really mesh well, to be honest, and it kind of diluted each other's overall purpose. For example, if I were to focus on the first half of this episode where it follows Tenzin's children, these three annoyed each other. They kind of got separated for a little bit, they came together, and they're now back together stronger as a family. That's really all I got from that aspect. While on the other half, where we're following Korra, this is where I'm really conflicted because, you know, all the tension that was built from last episode where she was suffering, technically speaking, from PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, because this only technically had half an episode, it kind of came off as too convenient and easy that Korra was able to get over pretty much 2.5 years worth of emotional distress. I mean, Korra basically had one reoccurring vision of past antagonists within a span of 8 seconds, and don't get me wrong, I definitely did like that, but I felt like they could have really emphasized that by letting it gradually build throughout the episode. But because it had to share screen time with Tenzin's children, we didn't really get that, so I felt that was slightly disappointing. Toph also gives advice to Korra, which I thought was pretty solid for the most part. I also like the change of pace in terms of the advice being given, because, you know, Toph giving advice to Korra is a lot different from, say, Iroh giving advice to Korra. With Toph, she's as straightforward as you can get. She basically describes what's happening with you as of right now and gives you advice on how to get over it, and then you move on. With Iroh, he gives you a story that kind of supports the foundation of the overall process of giving you advice. And then by the time storytelling is over, you pretty much have an epiphany, and then everything kind of falls into place, and then you take action. And then basically everything after that, you know, Korra manages to get the remaining poison out of her body. She feels better, she could turn into the Avatar state. She has a little family reunion with, you know, Tenzin's children. She's technically speaking the unofficial older sister of those three. And she finally gets a hug from Toph, which I thought was cute. But that was really all there was to this episode. Don't get me wrong, I understand completely why this episode was structured the way it was presented out to be. It was for the sake of moving the story along. You know, we're already finished with episode 4, and we're going into episode 5, so we need Korra at 100% in terms of her physical health and her emotional health. Like I said, I do feel conflicted, but don't get me wrong, I still thought it was decent, it was cute. There was a couple of instances that I definitely liked, but if I had to summarize the overall impact that this episode had on me, it was definitely underwhelming, and this is definitely the weakest episode out of all 4 thus far. So that pretty much wraps up this review. I definitely look forward to seeing Korra back in action and how she'll deal with the Earth Empire and Kuvira. In terms of theories, I'm not going to bother repeating myself. I've repeated myself to death, and this episode didn't really change my opinion, if anything. So if you guys want to know more about my theory, check out our previous reviews. So if you guys like the video, like it. If you guys dislike it, it's completely understandable, no hard feelings. Comment down in the comment section down below. I would love to hear what you guys are thinking about as of right now. Consider subscribing. We try to pump out this content as much as we can. And I'm not going to drag this video on any longer, so this is Jan, 1/3 of MediaShinobi, signing out, and I'll see you in the next video.